So usually when I come here to charge my phone and stuff, they'll have this black American that would be coming there, usually coming there to the other phone. I'm shouting, trying to distract me. 'Cause I'm maybe trying to upload videos or record videos of how I'm being abused under this Eric Adam, a black American that refused to obey the law. Because, under the law in New York, if you represent the city of New York and you promise to assist people, like this Eric Adam is saying that he wants to hear from people, whatever problem they have, and help them resolve it. Every time I contact him, that I'm a Nigerian transsexual, and I was vacated from my home by the city of New York. I give him the address and all the information he needs, and it doesn't help me. It doesn't cause, and and it's been helping other people in my situation. People vacated from their house in the Bronx, from their homes in the Bronx. It got them hotel rooms right away, and even raised money for them. Which it doesn't even have to do. It doesn't have to raise money personally for you, but it started a fund for them. And he even spent his money to travel to Mexico and all these things. So, he doesn't want their citizens to be stranded here. The American embassy should be doing that. He has no legal duty or whatever to be traveling to Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, to be forewarning their citizen. It doesn't have jurisdiction over this country. These countries have their own mayors, and whatever he wants to tell them, he'll pass it on to that mayor, to tell them to the people. So, and under New York law, you have a special duty. If you're an official or a police officer, he also claims to represent the police, and as the mayor, he's in charge of appointing the commissioner of police, so he does represent the police also, you know. You have a special duty as a police. If somebody needs of assistance and you promise to help them, because this is what it says. It says if anybody needs help, they should contact him. It will help them. And I've contacted him 3 times, and it's helping other people. It's not like he doesn't have the power to help me. I've seen him help people that are vacated like me, in the Bronx. And it seems like he only wants to do it, for the camera, for the glam. He doesn't really care about these people either. It seems, his main base is to protect Black American life or whatever I think he's doing. So even though it may be, providing or, putting immigrants that suffered vacate like me into hotel rooms, it may just be doing that because there were Black Americans also that suffered the same thing, and he couldn't isolate those immigrants while he's trying to help the Black Americans. So so it's misusing his power, and all of a sudden now Black Americans are attacking me, people are laughing at me everywhere. And it's so however it's running this New York, because they said, it used to be a member of a gang. I get beat up also randomly. It says from Queens. I used to go to Queens a lot, and and they attacked me in front of they call that place the Federal Plaza there, the immigration office there is the Social Security office. It's in Jamaica, on the last stop on the E train. I was walking by there, some Black Americans hit me for no reason. Hit me in my, came and attacked me, hit me in my stomach, and I called the police, and the police wouldn't help me. And they were making mockery of me. So they said this Eric Adam is in charge of the police, and it seems his only interest is to help Black Americans like him. And unless your case is conjoined with a Black American, because there was a fire in the Bronx, and I believe some Black Americans were also affected. So he helped them get into hotel rooms right away, and any other person, I guess he couldn't isolate them. But so it's mismanaging the city, and also it's putting my life in danger, because I've had reasons in the past to believe it was targeting me with words, especially I used to go near the Brooklyn Federal Court to use the bathroom after I was rendered homeless by the NYPD, and I sued them in the Brooklyn Federal Court, and they would come and eject me from the bathroom at Court Street, number 2 train and stuff. So that was near his office. It was the borough president of Brooklyn, Eric Adams. So I would go near his office and I'd be appealing to people. And maybe you could hear it from his office also. I'd be appealing to people that, they're practicing xenophobia here in New York. That, I think Trump had just become president then. And, I was being scapegoated, by this NYPD and their accomplices, So I would go near Eric Adams' office back then and say, in Ohio, in Nigeria is the mayor, and in Iowa, they allow immigrants to get driver's license, undocumented immigrants. And this Eric Adams once I made a statement that go back to Ohio, go back to Ohio. New York is for real New Yorkers. And I've been getting made fun of that, because of my mixed accent. It's like, they regard it as being fake, 'Cause and that is just a misjudgment in their part, because immigrants speak with mixed accents. So just because somebody speaks with a mixed accent, it doesn't mean their speech is illegitimate or whatever, or you should be able to make fun of their accent. And they'll be putting graffiti in the bathroom store on 14th Street on the 8th line, said die soon poser, and I've been expressing threats to my life. This was when Trump was president, and now that Trump is out of office and this Eric Adams is mayor, now I'm getting more attacked. And even he also sends a message that if anybody needs assistance, they should contact him. And it's to help people with similar situations in the past, especially Black Americans. If they're vacated, he helps them get a hotel room, because that's the rule. That's the law. The city of New York signed a settlement agreement in the 1990s that, anytime anybody's vacated, they will provide them with a hotel room so the person is able to find permanent housing. And I've been contacting this Eric Adams because he's been giving out the social media. I contacted him 3 times already, and he's refusing to help me. And I'm being stalked every time I come to these areas like this, to charge my phone. There's somebody will come also in the middle of the night, like around 2 a.m. right now, October 19, 2023. And the person will start yelling as I'm trying to record videos to put on YouTube, so I wouldn't be able to record videos. And a lot of times also the YouTube also will tell me, I reached the limits, the maximum limits for the day. Even though I'm just trying to upload the first video, and it wouldn't allow me to upload the first video. Sometimes I'm able to upload 10 videos. But if I have really important videos I want to upload, I'm experiencing all kinds of distraction. The YouTube will cancel me, will stand in my way, and they'll be bringing all these people. Sometimes they bring the police officers, So, and historically, they say Black Americans, some of them harbor misgivings about Africans. They believe Africans sold them into slavery, they assisted slavery, and they want to retaliate. So I'm being subjected to all kinds of suspicious, kind of reprisal type abuse from this Eric Adams administration, when he refuses to help me as an Nigerian, that needs housing, and he says he wants to help homeless get housing. I believe one of the ways to do that is to get the police to declare them crazy. So I'm expressing all kinds of aggression, like it's putting a hate hat on me. And a lot of these Black Americans will want to attack me, take advantage of me being a vulnerable African, and try to make me look crazy. There's a particular one at the Washington Market Park on Greenwich and Chambers. She's a Black American female, and she'll be using the word crazy anytime she sees me. She's the janitor there. And so many of them, and a lot of these Black Americans, they used to attack me when I'm trying to use the bathroom. So, they try to take advantage of that, because, if you can get someone to defecate in their pants, and you'll be blocking me from using the bathroom, finding every excuse. They'll be switching up the time on me. They open the bathroom, because normally they open at 7 for other people, but once they see me come around 7 to use it, they either go lock up the door. They use the Spanish female to do that to me in the afternoon. She was, when she saw I was about to use the bathroom, she went and locked the door. I was only letting white people use the bathroom. So it's like they're telling them to, because my mother's daughter's feigned mental illness on her while she was getting treated, when my mother was getting treated for heart disease in Bellevue, and got the hospital to try to move her into the psych ward. And they said during the process, my mother didn't want to go, and they overpowered her, and she died. And nobody in this city would help me, because Lelita James also wouldn't help my mother and I when my mother was alive. She was helping other Black Americans mainly, to sue. She was a public advocate, and she was helping Black Americans to sue their landlords, their private landlords. And the court warned her that as a public advocate, she can't, sue private landlords. She can only sue public agencies like the NYPD if they abuse rights. And back then, me and my mother didn't have a lawyer, and we were, rendered homeless by the NYPD. And I contacted Lisa James' office, went there, and she wouldn't help me. even in contempt of the court's order that she's, she can't be suing private landlords. She needs to be helping people against public agents like NYPD. She still refused to help, even though my case has to do with the NYPD, and she was mainly helping Black Americans. And since then, my mother's daughter's feigned mental illness and killed my mother, and so so as a witness to the misgivings and the wrong done by Lolita James and some of these other people, they're under the platform of the Democrat Party. It's like, some of these Democrats in New York are putting the hit out on me to harm me. They're using Black American thugs and police under this Eric Adams to attack me. And even Trump has been insinuating something about this. That that they're just trying to use them to cover up their own that the charges they're bringing against him as Trump, are just to cover up, are just politically motivated. Because if there's anybody that would start a criminal investigation on all these people, it is this Trump. Because especially after they were investigated him. So, and he's saying, that they're bringing criminal charges against them, so he wouldn't become president again. And also the Beauty Commissioner, a friend of Eric Adams, said he always snitches to his friends when the law enforcement activities, they're under surveillance. And this Beauty Commissioner that was accused of using city money to go gamble with for personal gain, he said Eric Adams was telling him to watch his back, to stay away from the phones, that they're tapping his phone. So it seems this Eric Adams is using his connection with the NYPD as a former member of the NYPD and also as mayor, to have me harassed and stalked, and reducing the possibility of these people ever getting charged with a crime. Because if it's aware, because the FBI and these other federal agencies shares information with the NYPD if they're going to target somebody. So if the Beauty Commissioner that was recently arrested said this Eric Adams would snitch to people, he knows if the NYPD is after them or law enforcement is after them, he would tell them to stay away from the phones. So the chance of me being able to get justice, it's been greatly reduced, and I've been targeted under this Eric Adams because he's been accused of obstructing justice, and whoever is sending people to attack me, they seem to do it with some high level of confidence that they're not going to be charged. It's like they're aware somebody's going to snitch and help them get rid of any possible evidence, so to make me look stupid. And I don't know if they're also trying to extort me, so it would be like, there's no evidence, I'm just making up accusations. So this is a corrupt way to try to enrich your friends. Because they said, this Beauty Commissioner, he was enriching himself illegally with city money, taking bribes, and he said this Eric Adams was trying to prevent him from getting caught because he was Eric Adams' friend. He was telling him to hide evidence that they're coming for him. So it seems he's using his power to try to extort immigrants like me, because I'm being attacked everywhere, and if he's going to be snitching to these people, to hide evidence, and to block justice, that means it's trying to get me vulnerable, as I'm trying to get money from the NYPD for rendering my mother homeless, and through their unlawful vacate of me and her and sexually harassing me during the vacate, and it seems is trying to get me extorted, because they said all these people to attack me, and and there's I'm not getting any assistance to get these people prosecuted. So it should just be my words against these people, and to make me look, I'm slandering these people because I'm being made fun of, and when I try to use the bathroom, I'm being denied access to the bathroom, like the Black American Park worker or the Washington Market Park. They'll be using the word crazy around me and be denying access to the bathroom, like she's trying to make me difficult of myself. And usually, because they have me under the FBI surveillance since my mother brought me to the country in 2000, and they said, green card holders can bring children to the country, even though I had a visa in my passport, and they arrested me and sent my fingerprint information to the FBI. So the FBI has put me under surveillance, and this Eric Adams, they say is snitching to help his friends get away with criminal activities. So, and so ever since they made a statement that was, saying people need to go back to where they came from, New York is for real New Yorkers, and it calls whites crackers, so he has a racist, and ethnic ethnicist tendency. And he said historically, some Black Americans, believe Africans sold their ancestors into slavery and they want revenge. So, and it's been, and this requirement has been solely trying to protect Black American interests. If a Black American is vacated, it will get them a hotel room, and any other person that's vacated alongside other Black American will help them. But in my case, I've been contacting him. I've been Nigerian. It wouldn't help me. Even using his money to travel abroad to, saying he's trying to help Spanish people, from getting started in New York. But and that's not his job. The American embassy is supposed to be, and the mayors in these countries, Spanish countries, are the ones who's supposed to be doing that. It doesn't have jurisdiction over other countries. When there are people like me that could be assisted, and they promise to. He asks people to be contacting them if they need matters resolved, and I contacted him 3 separate times. He keeps giving out all different platforms to reach him on, and it wouldn't help me. As a Nigerian. So, and I've noticed, in the past, I reported him to the New York Times in 2020. Say, while he was borough president of Brooklyn, I was under attack. The Black Americans were attacking me. In the nighttime like this, start throwing my stuff into the street. Said that, he saying he was trying to get rid of garbage. So this guy that always comes here is here now. It's either him or somebody else. Anytime I get it, will come. The person will come there too. I'll start screaming as I'm trying to upload videos like this to YouTube and record videos. It's like his main purpose is to distract me, because a lot of times I've accused the NYPD of surrounding me up in this area. Late at night when I'm using the phone, or or some Black Americans will try to jump me as I'm using the phone across the street over there. They've been trying to bump into me. So so ever since I've been uploading videos, now he's hiding. He was staring at me before, now he's hiding. So I'm getting accosted by Black Americans. Sometimes they use Spanish. I can't use the phone. I can't use the bathroom. It's like they're trying to disconnect me from the world. And my mother's daughter's feigned mental illness on her and got her killed and took her property from the storage, including my property at the store after she was killed. So during the COVID 2020 shutdown, they were sending people to attack me, and this Andrew Cuomo is also a Democrat. He locked up New York from people. He closed New York up, the borders, and nobody can come in. Then all of a sudden, when they started attacking me, the Black Americans were attacking me in Brooklyn. Eric Adams was the borough president of Brooklyn back then. Then all of a sudden, Cuomo announced that he was going to open up the border, the New York borders to people from Pennsylvania. So it was like they were trying to get me killed and get my mother's daughters who live in Pennsylvania to come and remove my body also. Because when my mother's daughters came to New York and got my mother killed while she was getting treated at Bellevue Hospital, they feigned mental illness on her. My mother was getting treated for heart disease at Bellevue Hospital, Manhattan. And they feigned mental illness on my mother. And after they killed her, they removed her body and went and dumped my body for burial in New Jersey. In a town that my mother's daughters don't live in Jersey, they live in Pennsylvania. They don't, my mother never lived in Jersey, so they were hiding her body from me, so I couldn't make it to the funeral, to the burial, because my mother was telling them, because I broke contact with her daughters, because my mother was telling me that they were contacting people in Nigeria that was trying to kill my mother, and I testified in court against some of those people, so my daughters know. My mother said she used to tell them that I carry a lot of bags when I'm homeless, that she would assist me with money, and they wouldn't assist me. So my mother just told me to be very careful with our daughters, seem to be, moving with some bad crowd, and they're acting very suspicious. Even my mother said she was very afraid for her life. Even when she was having heart disease, she told me she got on the bus to come to New York to seek medical treatment, because some of my daughters work in the medical hospital in Pittsburgh, and one of them feigned mental illness on me, and tried to get me to miss my court hearing and had me detained in the mental ward. And the Mercy Hospital in Pennsylvania in 2001, I had to speak with my lawyer here in New York because they said I have a daughter, Bolanle, lied on me that I have mental illness and I don't have any immigration court case, even though she had an immigration court case, and got me locked up in the mental ward. And one of the other daughters, Flora, hit me with a car because my mother took me to go to Pennsylvania with her, and she left me there. I was trying to get into the car because she was coming back to New York, and her daughter hit me with the car, and left me stranded there. And then the Bolanle, that's her daughter Flora, hit me with the car, and Bolanle called the police on me, said I had a weapon and I was mentally ill. And lied to the mental hospital. When I told the mental hospital I have an immigration court case, they have to release me so I can go. And when they contacted her, that is it true that I have an immigration court case, Bolani told the hospital that I don't have no immigration court case, that I was mentally ill. That's why I'm assuming that. And she was aware I had an immigration court case. I was calling her when I was in immigration prison. She was aware, when I was in immigration prison around that time. And she wouldn't answer the phone, and she told me, she was here. She does that. When I leave her voice messages, she always listens, but she didn't just know what to say to me. That's why she would never answer the phone. And she was coming to shop around in Queens around that time period while I was in immigration jail, and she wouldn't even stop by my immigration jail. Working out facility was in Queens also. So she's very self-centered and very selfish and only look out for her own interests. Like that, and her name, her name is Bolonley. So it seems they're aware of the issues I have with my family and stuff, that my mother's daughters killed my mother and I couldn't get justice. So they believe this Eric being a black American. I see some black Americans harbor hostilities against Africans. So he may believe I'm a very vulnerable African and that I could get killed by his police and they'll get away with it. And he's been insinuating that his police is going to kill a black person soon. And he's having black Americans jump me, so the world needs to help me. This Eric may think I may be the perfect African to get killed, and they're gonna escape. So I believe they can kill me and get my mother's daughters to come move my body to away, or they can harm me, feel mental illness on me, and deport me as a crazy, because they know I'm witness to my mother's daughters killing my mother, and they will gladly try to destroy me as a witness. So I believe this is what this Eric Adam is banking on, and he's been sending his police to attack homeless like me, and he's saying that he wants to put all the homeless in psych ward, and even though I contact him to help me with my housing, he refuses to help me, but he's helping black Americans that are vacated like me to get a hotel room. So Eric Adam needs to be under criminal investigation. It needs to be under criminal investigation because I'm getting accosted, and anywhere I try to charge my phone, I'm getting surrounded by black Americans and they're intimidating me, And now they put their police in the subway. Even the MTA chairman went and congratulated the Port Authority police in Grand Central. When I tried to use the bathroom, they ejected me, almost killed me. And the Port Authority is putting messages, the police association, they're putting messages all over the Port Authority stations, like the World Trade Center here that goes to Newark, and the Port Authority station, the 42nd Street, Times Square, that goes to New Jersey, and Greyhound buses. That's the Port Authority stations. They're putting station there. They're putting messages there signed by the Port Authority Police Association that don't let hate ride in our station. We won't let hate ride in our station. Anytime I try to use the bathroom there, the police will eject me from the bathroom. We join with the janitors. The janitor will quickly close down the bathroom anytime I try to use it and call the police on me. And I'll be telling the police, please, I'm a victim of it. I'm a transsexual, a Nigerian transsexual, being denied bathroom services. And the police wouldn't help me. So I was born on July 8th. So it appears they're being sarcastic by saying they won't let age ride. I believe they're referring to my birthday. And they killed Eric Gordon. The NYPD killed Eric Gordon. I was trying to help him with my court papers close to my birthday in July 2014. After Eric Gordon told me he was going to help him with my court papers, I was recording him when they killed him. Weeks earlier, he told me his name is Eric Gordon is going to help him with my court papers. I get justice. And on the same spot or close to where he was standing at when I was recording him in that 2014, weeks later, the NYPD went and choked him to death. On Bay Street, Staten Island. So, and now the Port Authority police, they say, I love this Port Authority police are former NYPD officers. They're putting signage everywhere in every station, like like the 42nd Street and here in World Trade Center, the Port Authority station, that we won't let hate ride in this station. And they say even this Ultra put some National Guards. A lot of the National Guards kept them at the World Trade Center early this year. And anytime I try to use the bathroom, the Port Authority police would join with with all kinds of people, and they'll be menacing me, won't let me use the bathroom at the World Trade Center. And they said, there was a snowstorm early this year. I believe it was either this year or last year. It was a snowstorm in Buffalo, and a Black American female that was returning from, she was a nurse returning from work, got stuck in the snow and called 911, and they said they were going to help her, but there was no National Guard to help her because a lot of the National Guard was stationed here in World Trade Center, and they said Ocho kept them here, and wouldn't release them to go to Buffalo, to help, say a lot of Black American perish. A lot of people perish in the snowstorm because, the National Guard are the ones that have helicopters to help people in situations like that. The local police don't have the equipment and stuff. So between the Democrats like Ocho, Lolita James, Eric Adams, it seems that where I'm very vulnerable, that my mother's daughters killed my mother, and I'm the only living witness that could get them jail. So they believe, if they harm me, our daughters will help clean up the evidence because they'll be doing our daughters a favor. As a transsexual trying to get justice from the NYPD, I think this is jealousy, and they're trying to block justice. And even this Eric Adams friend, the former British commissioner, says he obstructs justice. He will always tell his friends, because through his position as a mayor and a former NYPD, the NYPD snitches on him, to him. If somebody's under investigation, and he'll be telling them to hide their phones, to hide evidence. So this beauty commissioner that was being charged by Bragg, I believe, is also a Democrat. Is a prosecutor here in Manhattan. Allegedly Eric Adams is also involved in trying to block justice. And Bragg is also a Black American who wouldn't arrest Eric Adams, but arrest the British commissioner, charge them solo. So I'm experiencing a lot of abuse under the Black American control of the Democrats party here in New York from, and Lolita just also wouldn't help me when I was getting jumped in 2020 by Black Americans, and I believe in her messages. And see, as a matter of fact, she said she was trying to resolve issues if anybody's been, and the police wouldn't help me either. And I believe her message, she created a special phone line, especially for Black Americans that believe they're being targeted by the police, to call, and I'll be calling her, saying, when Black Americans jump me while in Brooklyn, where Eric Adams is borough president, the police wouldn't help me. It's like they're assisting these Black Americans to abuse me. And I would leave a message and she wouldn't help me. Even they would jump me in front of them. There was a UPS store. A Black American came to beat me up around 1 a.m., 2 a.m. at night. And the UPS store camera was recording it. I was charging my phone and she came and started beating me up. And she would follow me around, follow me into the bathroom. She wasn't homeless. She was a young Black American female. And even there was a camera that picked her up. I was trying to cross the street to use the bathroom in Prospect Park. After she came to beat me up in front of the UPS camera, and I called Lolita James, she wouldn't help me. That Black American female days later followed me as I was trying to use the bathroom, was menacing me, and there was a NYPD camera that was recording her. And and the NYPD wouldn't help me. I was harassed in the bathroom also. So I called IAB that the police camera would show this Black American female menacing me in front of at Lincoln Road in front of Prospect Park. I said, and the police wouldn't help me after I called them. And the NYPD went and removed the surveillance camera, and they didn't return it. So they're destroying evidence. Also here by Greenwich Street and Chambers, I used the bathroom at Washington Market Park. There's some Black Americans there, park workers that always harass me, female, and one of them is a male. They harass me all the time. And also when I'm trying to cross the street late at night like this, I can come from over there. I go use another bathroom close to 12 midnight, Pier 25 near the Washington Market Park. So I will come from over there to here to come use the phone. So as I'm crossing the street, there's a police camera there also in front of the park. And sometimes the ambulance will try to hit me. So a car will try to hit me, and the car will quickly drive away. And I will bring out my camera to record the ambulance fleeing, and the police camera will be recorded. And the new police commissioner Caban came to this area and said, they're going to be protecting kids. And since then, when I try to use the bathroom, the kids will hit me with the door. And the police camera in front of the park, that I was referencing when the ambulance started to hit me and drive away. The police camera recorded. The NYPD just came to remove the surveillance camera. So they're trying to destroy every evidence, and they're trying to make a way because they see, my mother's daughters would want to harm me because I'm a living witness to because my mother was telling me the address was about to kill her, and they came and killed her in the hospital. Got her killed in the hospital by feigning mental illness on her, and my mother came to New York to come to the hospital. She was staying in Pittsburgh with her daughters, and he said when she was feeling sick, she came to New York because she didn't want, her daughters to sabotage our medical treatment because our daughters feigned mental illness on me. When I went there in 2001, and my mother was afraid they were going to feign mental illness on her. So she came all the way from Pittsburgh to New York to go to the hospital, and said during the journey on the Greyhound bus, she began having a heart attack. And the Greyhound bus stopped in New Jersey, but my mother told them to keep on driving to New York. They were calling 911 for her. And so my mother, there's evidence the Greyhound bus could be subpoenaed. And this NYPD and the FBI put me on surveillance because, the FBI had me on surveillance when my mother brought me in July 2000 to America. The INS arrested me even though I had a visa and my passport, saying, children can't come into the country with their mother. And they, put me through, subjected me to that ridiculous type of immigration matter. So since then the FBI has been surveilling me, and the FBI partners with the NYPD. So I believe, they're able to pick up all, my family history, how my mother's daughters killed her, and how they would want to escape justice by harming me as a witness. So this I recorded as soon as he became mayor. They said it was sponsored by Bloomberg. Because under Bloomberg, the NYPD removed me and my mother unlawfully from my home. The NYPD killed Eric Garner, and this Bloomberg was negligent. He promised to help my mother. My mother said she wrote a letter to him and said it was going to help us get justice, and Bloomberg never helped us. So they said Bloomberg now sponsored Eric Garner to become mayor. So I don't know if his job is to cover up for Bloomberg's atrocity. So it's like they all have a common enemy in me because I'm snitching, I'm, reporting human rights abuses, and they know my mother's daughters will want to eliminate me as a possible witness for killing my mother, So it seems this is what Eric Adams is banking on. He's saying he wants the police to be, to be transporting homeless into the psych ward. And when I contacted this Eric Adams, please, I need housing assistance, it wouldn't help me, even though his living is information for people to contact him, and it's mainly helping Black Americans, that are vacated like me. He's put them in hotel rooms. But when I contact him, it wouldn't help me. And I'm noticing his police is following me, harassing me. I can't even go into the subway, without the police surrounding me up. The MTA chairman, said, they brought a new policy in the subway to target me and make it easy to deport me, criminalizing everything about me. That strollers now is not allowed in the subway unless you have a baby in it. And, and as a poor African, I use strollers to carry my bags. But they allow all these white people to come with suitcases in the subway. I can't afford suitcases, so I use stroller, so they just talk, it's like a Jacorism whereby they target me with their laws. So they're changing their laws before, the Metro card I put money on because they thought all blacks had COVID. So when in 2020, I was putting money in my Metro card for 1 week unlimited ride. As soon as I put money there, they will raise the money like 1 or 2 days later. So I was recording that, and on my phone, that's this MTA, believes all blacks have COVID or something, and they're trying to ban me from coming to the subway. Even Como, said they shouldn't allow the homeless to ride the subway, and after midnight they should be locking up the subway so homeless won't be able to be on the subway. So I was recording all this evidence. So I believe between this MTA and this Eric Adams and Ocho and Lolita James, they believe if they can harm me and get my mother's daughters to remove me from the country under the guise of mental illness, because it's called psychiatric deportation. If you try to claim somebody's crazy and needs to be treated in another country for mental illness, you can deport them out of the country. So I believe this is what this Eric Adams is banking on. And I believe it has a hate motive. It may be part of these Black Americans that don't like Africans due to slave trade and trying to use their power to abuse an African whenever they find the African vulnerable. So please, the international community needs to come to my assistance. I'm being tortured, and this is against the international laws against torture, the Geneva Convention against torture, and the international investigators, the UN, and every international organization, international police need to investigate this. Eric Adam and these Democrats from Ocho, Lolita James, and how they're able to abuse African like me and my mother, and believe they can get away with it because my mother's daughters will help them remove my body, alive or dead, from America. So I think this is what they're banking on, and they're having Black Americans jump me 24/7. So I will keep uploading videos to the YouTube.